Oh, hey, we're live. Hello. We're gonna wait on people to jump on. There's one viewer. One. Ah, ah. Uh, two. Two. Viewers. There you are. Scott. Hello. Six viewers. That was quick. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shaman Sundays. I'm your host. Look, I remembered it this time, guys. I am your host, Brandon Cooper. You know what we're gonna do before I even start rambling? We're gonna light the sage. So if you have Count Shaman, that's right. Kevin, what's up? So if you guys have some sage and you want to light it along with me, please do, so we can get rid of all the crap from last week and go into this new week with nothing but good high vibrations. There we go. Sort of lit. I'm going to have to tamp it in a minute. You know what? I'll do it right now while we're talking. So, how's everybody? Everybody good? How's the weather where you're at? Talk amongst yourselves while I light this thing. Okay, there we go. Now we can actually do a proper show. So, I guess before we jump into our special guest, I'm going to go ahead and promote the Paracon at the beginning and the end. So, if you haven't heard, there's this thing going on in South Carolina, March 24th through the 26th, called the Haunting at the Mill Paracon. We have a great lineup of people, speakers, including Brandy Marie and Jeremy Leonard, both from 28 Days. We've got the Horn Paranormal driving all the way from South Dakota just to show off their wares. It's going to be completely awesome. And Kel KD will be out there. Sam Baltrusis. I mean, we're gonna have a pretty good crowd. So tickets are on sale right now on Eventbrite. You can get on the Eventbrite and look up Supernatural Inc. or The Haunting at the Mill, and the tickets will pop up. Or you can find us if you just search on Facebook at The Haunting at the Mill. The Facebook page will pop up, and they make great stocking stuffers and those last minute gifts that you don't know what to get somebody. Get them the tickets. They'll love you for it. All right. Yeah, thanks, Carl. We can take that down. I think I'm done with that now. So, my next guest probably needs no introduction. You know him and you love him. And if you don't know him and you don't love him, then get off my podcast. I call him Big Sexy Rexy, the Dragon Slayer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Rex. Rex.
Hey,
buddy.
Quite the introduction there.
I can only there's only so much you can do for a living legend.
Oh,
And that's you, buddy. Well,
Well, I appreciate that.
Hey, yeah, buddy. So, a lot of people know you from your show, Music, Movies, and Maybe More. But you just recently started a paranormal show.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean that you just started to be interested in the paranormal. This goes back, I think, to your childhood, right?
Yep. Between the ages of 4 and 5. Yep.
You want to give us the abbreviated story of the four entities that?
Yes.
This is such a great story. I have to hear it over and over. I love this story.
This time I had the pictures that I actually drew of what I saw.
Oh, cool.
I was between probably about 4.5, almost 5. I was awoke one night by these two apparitions that were in my room, and they looked like what I want to say is like liquid smoke.
Yep.
I mean, the top part of them you could tell, but the rest of it was just a free flowing mass. Where their eyes are supposed to be was just two holes, and I could hear them talking to me in my head,
Right.
and they were telling me the most horrid, disgusting, awful things that no 4-year-old should be hearing, let alone any adult. To this day, I have never repeated, and I will not. I I I wouldn't want to subject anybody to what I had heard. The only thing
Right.
I'll tell you is that they wanted me to kill my baby sister,
Mm.
and of course, I ignored it. And this started going on. It would happen every night about the same exact time. They would show up and they would tell me in my head all these horrible things that I should do. I miss you too, Tom. And and they always wanted me to get off the bed, and I refused. The more I ignored them, the worse they got.
Right.
They got more agitated with me. The anger from them was horrifying. It was horrifying anyway for the age I was. But what all came to a head, to coin a phrase, I
Mm-hmm.
was out with my mom that day, and I was allowed to get, I think it was 6 Hot Wheels, I believe. When we got back home, I'm a little OCD, so I had them all lined up on the top of my dresser,
Yep.
evenly spaced. And that night, they appeared, and they were very upset with me, and just went on and on and on. And I actually, my dresser was across the room. I had a 10-foot long bedroom, and
Mm-hmm.
my bed was on the other side in the corner of the room between the two windows. And I'm ignoring them. I had my back to them, and I was petrified because I didn't know what they were going to do.
Right.
But I turned, and just then the Hot Wheel started shooting off my dresser towards me, and I mean with force. And all of a sudden they stopped like they hit an invisible wall.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, there were two more entities standing at the foot of my bed. I could see them, just the outline of them. There was a man. He had a bowler on. You could tell he had a suit on. He had a cane. You could tell she had a bun in her hair, a big bustle on her dress. And I could hear them say, "Don't worry. We're here for you. We'll keep here for you. We'll keep you safe." This went on for 4 years, every single solitary night for 4 years. And it was it was a tough 4 years, because you tell your parents, and
Well, yeah. Oh,
what they
right.
say,
Right.
you're just having a bad dream.
Yeah.
And we moved away when I was 8, and I'm sorry, step back. The two individuals that showed themselves first, I called the bad ones,
Yep.
and the two that showed up to protect me were the good ones. And when we moved away, it all stopped. Nothing happened until, oh, I say it was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I'm in my room reading a book. Then all of a sudden, this bright, beautiful yellow light comes above the top of my book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wide awake. And, it's one of those things where you're going,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I look, and they're the good ones standing at the foot of my bed, but I could see them as plain as I can see you. He had a pinstripe suit on, the big high starched
Yep.
collar
Yep.
with the
Yep.
tie. He had a bowler on. He had a handlebar mustache, had a cane. She had a beautiful royal blue dress on with white lace around around the collar, her hair up in a bun, a big bustle. She was absolutely beautiful. And I just sat there because I knew who they were, but it's been 50 years
Right.
since I've had anything with them. And we sat there and looked at each other for a while, and I felt such calm and such peace and such happiness with them being there. Then each one of them reached down and put their hand on each one of my legs, and they spoke. First time I've ever seen them or heard them speak. Sorry. They said, "Don't worry, we'll always be there for you." And they just gently floated backwards into the light, and they were gone. And
yeah, I love that story.
I drew pictures of.
Yeah. Show us those pictures.
This were the bad ones.
Yep.
And this was the good ones.
Oh.
And, it was a period piece. I'm figuring probably early 1800s, how they were dressed.
Right.
I can't tell you. Did I know them? Not to my knowledge. And why they protected me, I don't know, but I'm forever grateful.
Have you?
Because it was. Go ahead.
Have you tried to dig into some old family photos or anything?
I have. There's some similarities of a few that I've seen, but when I look at them, I just know it's not them.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the feeling isn't there. But like I said, some of the way they dress and stuff, yeah, it was spot on. But being them, no. So that's in a nutshell when it all started for me.
What a heck of a way to start into the paranormal.
And to tell you the truth, I was hooked after that. I mean, the older I got, the more I read, the more I delved into it. The Time Life series books, when they come out, with all the different phenomenons, I begged my parents to get them. I still have them to this day. That's one of those things that I'm never going to get rid of.
Right.
Because it was part of me taking this journey farther into the paranormal. Now I just turned 57, so do the math. I've been interested in this for a very long time. And
oh yeah. Because that could have gone completely south for you with it starting out so evil. So that's that's something to look into.
And and it was truly evil. I know the term's used very heavily in the paranormal. They're more grumpy than evil.
Yeah.
These two were evil.
That's why I'm wondering if they were some type of succubus or incubus. If it was, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, but I don't know. But yeah, that story every time you tell it, man, or every time I hear it, it gives me the goosebumps. I can only imagine what it does for you. Yeah, let's take a second here there's a bunch of comments and stuff. People are typing faster than I can read. So let's go through and let's say hello to some people.
Okay.
Chad Carter, what's up?
Hey, Chad.
And then Kimberly. Hello, Kimberly Horn. We are in for a bad storm next week. Oh, that sucks. There better not be a bad storm the weekend of Valentine's Day when I'm coming to see you guys in South Dakota. Oh, that's going to be a long trip. And then The Godfather has arrived for tomfoolery and shenanigans. Well, you've come to the right place, buddy. And then,
and then.
I love that movie. It's so stupid, but I love it. We've got Jailbird. Hello,
Barbara.
Candy Slater. Hello. Nathan. Good day, good sir. I will be hanging out with Nathan Saturday. He is part of Raven Paranormal down here, and we're doing our preliminary investigation down at Haygood Mills. So I'll get to hang out with him. And did I miss anybody? Facebook user said, thank you for sharing that with us tonight.
You're very welcome.
I would tell you how to go, and you have to give permission to StreamYard to use your name, or else we just see Facebook user. So I don't know how to tell you to do that. So thank you, Facebook user. So from there, and I think it's quite interesting that when you have a something is going on with our back. There it is. I lost my. What is happening? Whoa!
It's anarchy. Dogs and cats living together.
Oh God! All day, my foot up a dog's ass. So you went into law enforcement, and you were in law enforcement for quite some time. Now, do you ever
31 years.
That's longer than I thought. Wow! First of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much.
Oh, so do you take what you learned in law enforcement, and do you use any of the techniques towards your investigating and data collection?
Yes, I do.
Kimberly,
obviously, over my 31-year career, observing is unreal. I mean, I still do it to this day. I can't go into a restaurant and sit with my back to the door. I got to face the door, and I observe everything that's in there, the people, their body language, everything, where the exits are, where the cameras are. And I use it in the investigations because the best tool that I bring on an investigation is my body, myself. And yes, over the years, from the tactical aspect of it, the listening, the total observation plays a big part in doing my investigations. I leave the gun at home.
Well, I mean, really, what are you going to do? You can't kill them. So, yeah. And it appears Facebook user is, I hope I'm reading this wrong, but it says Dark Hope Paranormal. That kind of gives me Star Wars vibes. Dark Hope Paranormal.
Oh, can I throw something in right quick?
No, it's my show. Shut up.
Okay, never mind.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
If people that don't know me, I am Rex Nielsen. I am the founder of All Out Paranormal. And make a long story short, I started it out with my two sons 12 years ago, which was a blessing. Had a great time with them. They both gone their separate ways now and their own ventures. And I said I'd never replace them, and I never have. But I did ask for permission to bring on new blood into All Out Paranormal because I've been doing it alone the last 4 years, and that's a big undertaking to do an investigation, at a hotel, 5-story hotel, by yourself overnight. And I'm still going through that evidence now. But Joy, Candy and Derek Slater and Stacy are official members of All Out Paranormal now. So I just wanted to throw that in there in case people didn't know who I was, which I'm sure there are people out there that don't.
No, everybody knows you, Rex. I'm glad you said that. I meant to bring that up earlier, and then I just got tangled around the axle with your origin story. If we were comic books,
Yes.
oh, God, thank you everybody for all the comments. I've never had to read so fast in my life. We did have one question about. Yep, there it is. Dina says, "Did you ever have sleep paralysis during your time with the bad ones and the good ones?"
No. Nope.
And then I'll throw in, have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Yes.
Have you had it? Have you had it as an adult?
A couple of times in my early 20s, but since then, no.
That's a little case study that I'm trying to run. There's two things that I'm working on. One is the correlation between being an only child and being in the paranormal, because there are a ton, almost everybody I talk to is an only child.
Mm-hmm.
And sleep paralysis in adults. It's very rare. I don't know. It's just something I've been kind of looking at. So I thought I'd ask that. Oh yeah, let's throw that up. See, people are getting it. They're getting it. They're getting on the bandwagon. Sexy Rex.
But is she laughing because of my looks or just the name?
I mean, it's got to be just the name because your looks are stunning. Oh, this is what happens when I get a friend of mine on here. It just goes off the rails. I can't be professional with you.
Any physical interaction? Yeah,
All Out Paranormal, right? Where did we come up with the name All Out, and does it mean something in particular?
Actually, yeah, because it was just a off the cuff thing. Any physical interaction? Did you? No. Nope, they never touched me. Thank God. I mean, that it was paralyzing fear to begin with. I can't even imagine, being touched by them. But All Out Paranormal was kind of off the cuff. I mean, my oldest was living with me at the time. And of course, we were watching every program on TV that you could find about the paranormal. And, well, I was sleeping in the living room at the time because I had broken my ankle on duty. And the only way I could really sleep was to sit straight up on the floor and lean against the couch. And I slept that way. And so we were sitting there when it was about 2:00 in the morning, and all of a sudden, almost instantly, we looked at each other and said, "Hey, Chris," and he goes, "Hey, Dad, let's do this. We can do this. Let's start our own group." And I said, "I'm all for it." And we have pushed the boundaries on a lot of things through the years. Had a lot of firsts. And, we did a thing called the Isolation Project where we would find a haunted location and we'd lock ourselves in from 3 to 5 days by yourself.
Ooh.
Which is a no-no.
Well,
but I've been doing that for the past 4 years. But we pushed the boundaries on a lot of things, like our Dead End Road trip that Chris and I did. We went to 11 different states, 9 different haunted locations in 6 days.
Oh, wow.
And I've never even heard a big group going out and trying to take such an undertaking. And it was very well planned out. I'm still going over stuff. and this is quite a while. I mean, you can't. Oh, I got my recording. I got a big sign. If you turn it on, it says recording. Behind it is a dead end. I bought the sign, a dead end sign, and then we signed it in how many? Almost 3,000 miles.
I
Yes.
bought the sign.
Almost 3,000 miles in that amount of time. And it was a whirlwind 6 days, but man, one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. I got to spend
Now,
it with my son
right.
and had some amazing experiences, and love to do it again. We've talked about doing it, like go down to Louisiana and that part, and a lot of cool stuff down there that we can check out. And I don't know if it'll ever happen, but we have talked about it. But yeah, the name does mean something because we didn't have any delusions or grandeur that we were going to be on a television program or anything. That's not
Right.
why we got into it. We got into it to help people, because private investigations are still number one for me, even all the haunted locations I've gone to. And that's why we got into it, is to help people. And I think with the name, it also helped when people look this up, that they'll do everything they can to help us. And we
Ooh,
did.
I like that. I like that.
And
Yeah.
we actually did. So um, it was a thought process, but that night we had our Facebook page, we had our name, I made the logo, and we had nothing to our name, but slowly we got, your ever faithful digital recorder and little digital camera.
Right.
And it started from there. And, 12 years later, I've got, Pelican case full of a lot of stuff that I don't use anymore. Because when we first started, they were a big thing, and a lot of them didn't really work
Right.
like you were told they were going to work. So, but yeah, that's it again in a nutshell. That's that's the meaning behind the name.
I like it. But since you brought up equipment, this brought a question to mind that I probably should have been asking all my guests, but we're going to start with you. What was your very first piece of equipment?
Was the Sony digital recorder that I still use to this day.
Oh, that's cool.
And actually, I ended up buying 3 of them, and I still use all 3 of them to this day. I mean, I've got big Tascams and Zooms and stuff that I use, but those are my ever faithful ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember mine was, I don't know, probably 10 years old, and I got a EMF tri-field detector from Radio Shack. Yep.
Radio Shack, man.
I'll never forget it. Yeah, and I still have it. It's over at my parents' house somewhere. I saw it like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, just that was right when Unsolved Mysteries, was hitting their peak, and some of the other, it's just documentaries at the time of various haunted locations were coming out, and yeah, I was full on, just I gotta do this. Of course, I had some experiences as a kid, but I won't go back over that. But yeah, that led me into Radio Shack, man. I miss old Radio Shack.
Oh, I do too. I really do.
Like Radio Shack in Circuit City. Let's just go down the memory lane.
Hey, do you remember Rex's Electronics?
I do.
I went in one time and asked them if I got a discount, and they said, "Why?" I said, "Well, my name's Rex."
Right.
I said, "That should be an automatic, shouldn't it? Because I bet you don't get many people in here named Rex."
That's right. Did they give
No,
you
I
one?
didn't get a discount.
Oh, that's horrible.
Wasn't for my lack of trying.
I mean, it's amazing. They should have like just given you a washer dryer or something.
I wouldn't have had a problem with that.
I would have. I would have. I mean, I'd have gave you a used one, but I would have gave you one.
Where were you when I was in the store?
South Carolina probably in Radio Shack. I was in Radio Shack. No,
Good call. Touche.
Yeah. So, what you got anything big coming up that you guys are working on as far as location wise, or
We've got a few coming up that we've already gotten booked for the next year. Of course, a lot of people know, a lot of people don't. I have total knee replacement a week from Thursday, so I'm going to be out of the game for a little bit. I mean, I won't be able to drive for over a month, and but I'll tell you, I'm ready for it and can't wait. We do have the Franklin Hotel booked for the 24th of February, which is in a little town, Strawberry Point, which is about, I don't know, 22 miles away from me, something like that. Not a very big town, but the Franklin Hotel's been there for a long time. Little bitty place on the corner, kind of, to me, it's kind of majestic, even though it's just a little brick, building on the main intersection in town. It's got like a little bistro, a little restaurant in it, coffee shop.
Yeah.
And actually, Ghost Adventures, I believe, stayed there at one point.
Did they find a demon? Never mind.
I quit watching it years ago, so I don't have a clue.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you guys want to watch that stuff, be my guest. I'm not in it for the FaceTime and the money. I'm in it for the science and for helping anybody I can.
And that's how it should be.
Yep. And I've never, ever have taken any money for anything I've ever done. I don't think that's right. And I didn't get into it to make money.
Not even in 31 years of law enforcement. He never took a paycheck, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Nothing.
All the donuts and...
Yeah, it's just donuts and coffee for that fella.
Oh, I can't drink coffee. It'll stop my growth.
Oh, yeah. You're 12 feet tall. Okay. What do we got, Rex? If I can get a hold of the conservator for the governor's mansion, would you let me in on the investigation? It would be my first. Hey.
I don't want to say yes, and I don't want to say no, because I have a team now. It's just not my decision. It's all of us together. I don't see it being a problem, but Candy runs the show on getting all the PR stuff out there and working on our locations. I've got too many irons in the fire right now, and with the upcoming surgery, she takes care of all that. I don't foresee it being a problem, but like I said, I don't make the executive decision anymore. Good possibility.
I like how you put that, because I know some teams that would be like, I make all the decisions. Yes, I have a team, but I make the decisions, and that's just not how I like to roll. So well played, Sexy Rexy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
I worked on that all day.
You did. I know. I saw you from the window. What?
It was an amazing thing to behold, too.
I'm telling you. This is why we shouldn't have friends on our podcast, because we just go off the rails. But I like it. I enjoy it.
It's entertaining and fun.
Yeah. So, how did you run into Aaron G. and Nick? Because I've seen them on a couple of investigations with you. How did that happen?
Wow. By chance, actually. And a funny thing about that, on our Dead End road trip tour, we got back in time to work one day. Then we turned around and we had a big expo going on in Davenport. Well, we had just done our first investigation with Aaron and Nick, and we've just hit it off. We've been great friends ever since. And actually, the book that Aaron is selling all over, that children's book, I was the artist in that book. I need to sign that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get you to do that.
Yes. So it was fun. It was a fun thing to do. But like I said, we got back. We got all set up on a Friday night, getting ready for. Actually, was it Friday? It was a Thursday night, I believe. No, it was Friday after the first day of the show. Had a great day, but Chris and I are dragging.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And so everybody usually we go out as a bunch of friends, and we'll go out and eat and have a good time after each night. But Chris and I were like, no, man, we need to get some rest. And that's when Aaron said, oh, no, no, no. And I said, what? And he goes, no, we're having an event at the Renwick Manor tonight, and you guys are our special guests. And we're like,
oh, wow.
What?
What?
So, yeah, and it was an incredible night, a fun night. After being there for so long, you got over the hump and wasn't tired anymore. And it was a good time, and really got closer to Aaron and Nick. And like I said, they're brothers. And I hope it stays that way for a long time.
Yeah, I got to meet and hang out with Aaron at the Paracon in Joplin.
Mm-hmm.
Great dude. I don't think I've met Nick yet, but he seemed like a pretty cool fella.
Oh yeah,
But,
I mean,
yeah, you can't beat Aaron. He's a mix of like rockabilly and like Blink 182.
Yeah.
Had a kid.
Yep.
And there's Aaron G. If anybody, okay, hopefully some other people will get that Blink 182. Oh,
we would hope. They'll
well,
just have
I would
to
hope
watch
so.
one of my other shows, and they'll get it sometime.
Yeah, there you go. So, hey, Greg Koss has joined us. Hello, Greg. He's saying
says,
that
you guys
we're
froze.
Are we frozen?
How are you doing?
Okay. Hey, how are you? No, okay, good. We're not frozen. Okay, because I'm actually kind of hot in this studio, y'all. I got lights so you guys can see my pretty face, and I'm hot. So I don't think I'm frozen.
You are.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Sexy Rexy, the Dragon Slayer. Let's talk.
I'd love to have pieces bucket list for what?
Oh,
my bucket list, or
yeah, yours.
Number one was Waverly Hills. I went there 2 years ago. I went with my oldest son and his girlfriend. You had to have, at least 10 people in a group in order to go. Well, everybody was all carpooling and had no more room for me. And well, I just bought a new motorcycle. So I thought, you know what? Fine. I left 3 days before everybody else did. I took no highways and drove there. I put 4,000 miles on my motorcycle the first year I did it.
See, that's what you're supposed to do with two wheels. Yeah.
Well, mine isn't two; it's three.
Do you have a Harley Tri-Glide by chance?
No, I have a 2019 Can-Am Ryker Rally Sport Edition with the wheels
Okay.
are in the front.
Yeah.
And
I
they said it would be the funnest thing I've ever driven. That's no joke.
Is it really? I don't know. I've looked and I just couldn't bring myself to the blasphemy of two wheels in the front. But
And
maybe I'm missing something.
I it well, I have neuropathy, so I couldn't hold up my big bike anymore. I get to a stop sign and it was this.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I come to the point where I almost went, I'm done riding.
Right.
But that was the year 2019 was my 50th year of riding.
Ooh, yeah, you can't
And
give
then I
that
was
up.
like, I can't
No.
quit. And so I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, and found one that is actually Can-Am Harley dealership in Cedar Rapids. And this one had come up, and I called about it, and I had it that afternoon,
That's
and was
awesome.
driving it home by 5 o'clock.
That's awesome. I'm in the market for a Harley Tri-Glide. The wife doesn't want me on two wheels anymore, my knees and my back. So it's time to get three. But yeah, I don't know that I could ever give up riding.
I just couldn't. It's been such a big part of my life, and the thousands and thousands of miles that I've ridden.
Oh yeah.
And there's nothing better than getting on there. I forget everything when I ride. Everything goes away. No
Now
worries, no
did
stress.
y'all take the motorcycles on for the dead end tour or no?
No.
Okay.
We took my rolling booger. I have a Honda Element that's kiwi green.
Okay.
Love
I
that
I
vehicle.
I mean, but I just can't picture your like 7 foot tall frame in that thing.
Well, actually, it's got a lot of room in it. It really does. I've always wanted one. The suicide doors and the whole 9 yards.
Okay, well that's pretty cool. Let's see here if we can catch up on. So apparently we fooled a couple of people and they really thought we froze there for a minute. That's
We are
I like
good.
that. We are good. No, you're good. I just follow your lead, man. Like if it wasn't for you, there'd be no me. Riding
No, that's not
horses,
true.
the world is all good. Horses. Yeah, me too. I was supposed to go ride Saturday, and I walked outside to a flat tire. Somehow something got poked into the sidewall of my tire.
Hmm.
Little odd, but
Could it be Satan?
Satan. But you know what? I know karma, and she never misses, so I'm not worried about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you said Waverly. What
Yes.
about okay, if money was no object and you could go anywhere in the world, where would your number one anywhere?
I would like either to go to Scotland or Ireland and do nothing but just like 3 months of castles.
Ooh, good call.
Or on top of that, Stonehenge.
Yeah. Ricky, don't leave me, Ricky. Ricky's one of my buddies. Funny side note, real quick. We were in Deadwood, South Dakota, and he had gotten on one of the trolleys to head back to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And there's absolutely no alcohol involved in this. Let me just put that out there before I tell this story. Well, they take off. Well, I had a couple people filming. I take off running after him, screaming, "Ricky, don't leave me, Ricky!" And I followed him till the next trolley stop, and then I stopped and go, "Oh, never mind." Turn around, and walk away. So, yeah, there's an actual video of this. that may be shown on this podcast at some point.
Oh, I will
I'm gonna have
definitely.
to. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so, and hey, Ricky, I can't wait to see you in February, buddy, up there in South Dakota. Um, Ireland. It's funny you mentioned that. My wife and I, that's me and Ashley need to talk to you later about playing. Hey, Ricky, I'll call you after the show, buddy. Um, my wife and I have talked about wanting to do Ireland. Well, she's Irish, specifically from Cork County. She's got family over there, but here's my thing, right? Okay, so we're both seasoned investigators here in the U.S., but do you feel any type of trepidation about going over? Because those are creatures that we really don't, some of those we don't interact with over here. The banshees, the fae are much more prevalent over there. I mean, they're here,
Yep.
granted, but they're
Right.
much more prevalent. How do you feel about that? Or you just go in all out, as it were? Hey, you see what I did there?
That's
Sorry.
good. Good plug.
Surprised myself on that one.
Yeah, I would just go in and do it. It's just another step in the learning process and of what I've been doing, and getting in there and dealing with things that, of course, that we don't deal with over here. And I think it just makes me personally better at what I do and a better understanding, instead of just being, in the United States and
Right.
in a plastic dome and not go anywhere else.
Well, and I wonder, and if they don't, somebody needs to do this. I wonder if there's some of the paranormal researchers over there would give us a class on etiquette. We know the etiquette here and how to
Here, right.
approach what we've got, and like I've got the etiquette for Native American land. We've got that etiquette down.
Right.
But you don't want to screw up with ancient, like different, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I wonder, and would you take a class if that was offered?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the biggest thing is the learning the etiquette. Like I'd love to go to Japan.
Oh yeah.
But you got to be careful. China and Japan, I mean, they got some demons over there that you don't want to mess with. Like, what was it? The cat girl that inspired the movie The Ring. Was it The Ring? Yeah.
Yep.
And my wife, someday I got to get her on here and tell her story. She was in Beijing in college, and she had an experience over there that still terrifies her. So, and each area's got their own. Like I saw jinn when I was in Iraq, and in that area, it's people say that here in the U.S. there's freaky stuff and history, and yes, this is true. But when you go back to like the center of the world, so to speak, as far as humanity, you don't know what you're going to run into, and
Exactly.
I wonder, I wonder, how would you prepare for that?
You'd really have to be prepared. Something you couldn't walk blindly into, because
Right.
there's way, like I said, being in the United States and being seasoned veterans on this, we pretty much know the ins and outs of what needs to be done. And you're going into a completely foreign atmosphere full of things again.
Yep.
That we don't. Hello, Carol.
Hey, Carol. No worries for coming in late.
You still got to see me.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to see Sexy Rexy, so I know you're nice complete. Mine is. I'm just saying.
But yeah, you're right. I think actually going over to Asia, their demons and their entities over there, I mean,
Terrifying.
yes, they are terrifying.
I mean, they've
Would I
even got
still
an
do it?
entire forest that will make you kill yourself.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
come on. So, what did you do, Brandon? When I came upon the jinn. Okay. Carol asked, what did I do when I came upon the jinn? That led me, long story short, down a road of self destruction because the jinn came back with me, alcoholism, suicide attempts, and that's a very long story. However, the jinn is no longer around. Remind me sometime, and I will devote a podcast to that because that I think a lot of our guys that were over there came home with some gin because there's a lot of self destruction.
Oh yes.
But good question, and Carol, I will get back to that and answer that at a later show because that's going to take up a long one. But good question. Thank you for asking. But yeah, so that kind of makes me want to get books and like that's why I think as investigators or any investigator worth their salt should always constantly strive to learn. Always
Oh
try to
yes.
learn something. Like,
Absolutely.
well, like what is if you could focus on one subject? What would your favorite in the whole paranormal gauntlet? To include cryptos and everything. What's your favorite
Wow.
go to? I know that's a hard one.
Man, I've never been posed that question before. So
Welcome to my show.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. We
I
start
think this
off
is
all kind of
great.
fun. We start off fun, and then we kick you a little bit.
And I love it. I mean, it's a question that's never been posed to me before. Wow. I mean, there's so many aspects to them. I lived in the mountains of Oregon, and I've seen it had to be in a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. I hate the word Bigfoot. I like the term Sasquatch better, but anyway,
That's because
um,
that's your cousin.
that is. See, I'm a
Yeah,
hairless Bigfoot, so
you are. You are.
um, I seen things because we live 2 miles up a mountain, and there was, it was nothing to have a big gray wolf run across your deck as you're sitting there eating supper,
Right.
or a bear walking down the gravel road, or a mountain lion, you know, crossing your path. Um, that was always interesting to me as a child too, and still is to this day. But my one go-to thing for everything that I've done, and have you ever been to Sumter? And how about Weird Lights and stuff? I've never been to Sumter. Weird Lights and stuff, there's stuff that I've seen, and I do everything I can to debunk it before I do anything. If I'm on the fence about something, I'll never release it to anybody. I'll keep it in my archives. But if there's something I cannot explain in any way, shape, or form, I've done everything to dismiss it. Um, I will put it out there. But your question, I think my go-to thing would be private homes and helping them with especially with children. I've cleared my clearing. I'm not breaking my arm, pat myself on the back, but it's over 98%, 99% of clearing homes. And that would still be my number one thing that I would go to. Does,
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's an honorable choice.
thank you.
And I know I'm looking at the time and it says we have 5 minutes left, but don't you fret, my friends. We're going to go long because we're having such a good time with Rex.
Absolutely. I don't work.
Yeah, I mean, I got my military retirement and,
I got my retirement.
people like looking at you, Rex. So we're just going to go just a little bit longer. Not too terrible. Uh, And by the way, keep your questions coming in the comments, please. And Greg Koss, you finally made it, buddy. Are we froze? No more? No more froze for you, buddy? Good. Um so of
Yes.
all the states, let's just do the contiguous US. If you could only pick one to investigate in for the rest of your natural life, which one would you pick?
Hinsdale House.
That was fast. Now, why was it so quick of a decision for you?
Well, I know the guy who owns it. He'll actually be on my new paranormal show, our new paranormal show, the very last guest this year, actually. Um, there's so much mysteriousness surrounding it, and coming to find out that I believe it's on Indian ground, and it just I if you'll let me, I'll get into a story about the Native
No,
Americans.
please do. Yeah, yeah. That's why I kind of wanted to go long. We're having a good time.
But yeah, I mean, there's so much that can be done in that place, and it's just one of the most haunted places in the world. And when you got Native American tied to that location as well, it's it's even more of something I want to do, because I grew up on an old Indian reservation when I lived in Oregon. Yes, exactly. Hinsdale is multi-layered. I've never been there. I was supposed to go last year, but it fell through and I didn't get to go. But yeah, that would be it. And um, speaking of the Native American, not only some of my best friend when I lived in Oregon was Greg Shandy, and he was a full-blooded Cherokee, his whole family. Um, and I learned a lot. And right down from where we lived on the mountain was a Indian chief, and we just called him Chief.
Yep.
Little bitty guy, but my gosh, the listening to him talk about the heritage, and I just was blown away. And it's another thing that's interested me for the longest time. On our dead end road trip, we stayed at Revenant Acre Farms. Farm. You can no longer stay there. I believe they tore it down, which is
Oh,
sad. But when we went there, um, the people that owned it were a young couple, and all they thought about was this. They
right.
knew nothing about the history of it, nothing. And there was electricity in it, there was no heat, there was no bathroom, and it was boarded up from the inside. The house was. Um, I bet, Maggie. Kudos for you to have been able to go there. I'll get there someday. Um, I plan to live a lot longer than anyone expects me to, so I
That's
will
right.
definitely get there. Um,
We'll
so
go tomorrow.
Chris and I that night, there was like one of those big 70s round wicker chairs,
Hmm.
that you could curl up in.
Oh yeah.
So, because every location we went to on this trip, we stayed. wherever it was we went. And there was a futon, so I'm in my sleeping bag and covered up, and he's um, in the chair, and we decided to, I don't know if it was Necrophonics or Spiritus or one of those, we turned it on. And we were asking questions, and come to find out, the whole farm was on Indian burial ground, and the man that bought it didn't care.
Oh,
He still farmed it and did whatever he wanted to. And I don't know how far back Reverend Acre Farms went back, but it was a long ways. I mean, probably late 1700s, early 1800s.
right.
From what I understand, he was like a cattle baron. And, but we didn't know any of that until we started playing Native American music.
Right.
And the stuff that started coming across on the Necrophonics was Native American, and they were very, very upset, extremely upset, and rightfully so. You know, that was, what a horrible thing. You know, so, oh, you're in here now, you brat. Get off of there. Um.
Yeah,
So
there's a cat beside you.
yeah, he's,
Yeah.
come here. There. Are you happy? Come here. Let the whole world see you now, you big baby.
There it is. There we go.
My co-host.
That's right.
So we heard all that coming through, and it took us a while. I can't remember what um, Indian tribe that we finally hit upon that it came across. But during that time, I mean, it was amazing. We caught all of it, and it just went on and on and on. And we kept, reassuring them that we were not a part of that. Our hearts are broken as much as yours are for what has happened, should have never happened. And in the middle of that, my niece's voice come through the Necrophonics.
Okay.
She's like 6 years old, 7 years old. And all of a sudden you can hear her say, how, I don't know. Uncle Rex, Christopher, be very careful. And I mean, it was just plain as me and you talking right now. And that was,
That's crazy.
yeah, I've had other people's voices come across. If I had anything, I could play it for you. Nothing's set up. But my boys went to the Hollis Inn, which you can no longer do any investigations there. I was sick, so I didn't go with them to the Hollis Inn. And there was a boy that died in fuel oil explosion in the house. Very ominous house, and they had cameras up at 24/7 set up in it. So everything we knew about it was documented, but I couldn't go. I was sick.
D, what are you talking about? This podcast? Sorry, go ahead, Rex.
So, like I said, they're 127 miles away from me. Well, when they got back, the boys, well, Christopher especially, was going through the audio. And you can hear it as plain as day. You can hear Chaim go, we're going back upstairs now. And my voice comes across saying, now I forget, staring at the cameras. And I have a pretty distinct voice, and
Right.
it was me. But I was nowhere to be found. I wasn't even close to that place. And it says staring at the cameras, just like that. Is your niece gifted? I think she is, but she's 13 years old, so she I think she knows, but she isn't embracing it or coming out and talking about it. But yeah, I think she does. Who plays?
So I will read this. Maggie says, "We played some Native American music while at Hinsdale by the Giving Tree. My REM pod was going off and it felt like we were being surrounded. I had some tobacco bundles and gave an offering of turquoise. We asked permission to be there and thank them. Outside seemed to calm down, but in the house, oh my God, it was
Hmm.
crazy. Growls, doors rattling, orbs, insane. Oh, I bet.
I've heard that, and I would love to go in there and just spend a week in it, and I'd do it by myself too. That would be amazing.
Well, you wouldn't
My
you
my,
wouldn't have, you would have to do that by yourself. You know, I might even drive out there for that one.
there you go. Love
I
to do
mean,
an
I'm
investigation with you.
shoot next year. We're all over the place with Supernatural Inc. So it wouldn't be nothing for me to. Hey, we might have to plan something next year. That'd be awesome.
There are some like on our show the other day we were saying, was it last week that no, it was the week before when we had Johnny Hauser on, and he was saying it's amazing the haunted locations that are just in Iowa. There are some phenomenal places to investigate here in Iowa, a lot. And we were just talking about that get that out there and let people know that Iowa just isn't a bunch of big corn-fed, American boys.
Look who's talking.
Um,
I'm just
you
saying.
know, I got that way for some reason, you know.
Mm.
So, yeah, definitely, I'd love to do an investigation with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would. We'll have to talk about that more. That that might be a possibility. Oh, well, you know what? This has been a blast. I have thoroughly enjoyed having you on my show. Oh
I am honored.
man, it's been so much fun. And I enjoy being on your show. There's nothing more fun than just talking about music, movies, and maybe more.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a
Oh
blast last night.
yeah, so this is a twofer. I was on Rex's show last night, so we had to have Big Sexy the Rexy the Dragon Slayer. You need to get that on your motorcycle, Dragon Slayer. That's
Okay,
your road name
that's a
now.
thought. That's a
That's your
thought.
road name. I'm gonna start calling you Dragon.
I will go with it
Oh,
because you gave it to me. I
yep.
will use it.
There you go. Yeah, because you can't give yourself a name.
No,
No. Oh, well, let me see here. Let's talk about. Let me just do my ending credits, and then we'll go from there. We at Super. What am I doing? What am I doing, Rex? Am I talking about?
you're.
What am I talking about?
I believe you're ending to your show that you do every week.
That's
Correct.
true, but I got to talk about. Oh yeah, so you can if you guys are ever looking for us at Supernatural Inc. Uh, to get one of our cool products, we have brand new products coming out. Oh, this month we have some brand new static notes that are coming out, and we've got some top secret stuff in the works for next year.
Ooh.
But you can find our store at store.supernatural.inc. Keep an eye out on the Supernatural Inc. Facebook pages. We will be doing a Christmas special where we have some sales and we're on live and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be great. You can find that Facebook at Supernatural Inc. Paranormal. You can also find me on my YouTube channel at Shaman Sundays. Every episode I do post about an hour after we're done. So you can find it all there. Please go and subscribe. Once I hit 20 subscribers, I'm gonna start doing some live meditations on my YouTube channel. I think I have like 16 people right now. So maybe we can make it 20. If we can make it 20, I'll do some special stuff on there. You can also find me on Spotify. Just look up Shaman Sundays Live with Brandon Cooper. I have every episode up except for one. Somehow it keeps saying that one of my episodes has been monetized, and I don't know why, because I'm not charging nothing. So don't pay for that episode.
No.
Because I don't know why that happened. Also, if you need spiritual guidance or you need anything, I am putting myself out there free of charge. shamansundays@gmail.com. Or if you just want to send me a meme of a gnome. I've been getting gnome memes lately, and you know what? I like it. I'm embracing the inner gnome. I am the paragnome.
Oh,
yeah.
nice catchphrase.
I
like
wish
that.
I could take credit for that, but that was Greg Myers from Paranormal Task Force. He calls me his paragnome. So, also, let's just bring it up one more again. The Haunting at the Mill Paracon here in South Carolina, March 24th through the 26th. It is going to be great. Oh, hey, look at some of the guests we got. We got James Anito, Katie Stafford. We got Brandy Marie, Aaron, capital G Thompson, Dr. Mary Barrett. She's going to be amazing. She will be doing past life regressions and gallery readings. Jeremy Leonard's going to be there. Mary Jo Chudley with her haunted dolls. We're going to have some famous haunted dolls out. It's going to be a great, great time. Tickets are on sale. Get on Eventbrite. You can just type in Supernatural Inc. or The Haunting at the Mill. And you'll be able to find those. Also on Facebook, The Haunting. If you just did a little search thing, type in The Haunting at the Mill, you will find our Facebook page with links. I think those tickets would make great stocking stuffers. If you're looking for something, yeah, I mean, last minute, hey, why don't you get somebody the gift of the paranormal? It could open their eyes, You never know. Because what do you get the person that has everything? The gift of paranormal.
Exactly.
It could, hey, you never know. It could light and children are welcome as long as they're well behaved. If not, there's a witch that will eat them. Oh, not really. Or really. Oh, sorry. I so went off track there. So as I close my show with the same saying, because it really means a lot to me. And if you sit and you meditate on this saying, meditate on it next time you're sitting there and, see what comes to you. But I've also got to wait because I have somebody that always helps me close my show in the comments. So I'm just gonna talk for a couple more minutes. Take two. I'm just gonna talk for a couple more minutes. Wow. And see if she pops on. And if not, it's just gonna be a sad day because she always helps me close it. You find my center several. Hey man, that's my job. That's what I'm here for. I'm glad that I was able to help you. If I go to bed every night hoping that I could at least help one person. And so that made my day. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And there it is. Okay, there we go. Carol, you had me nervous. I can't close my show without you, Carol. As Carol Garcia always says, we'll put it up on the screen. Remember to smile. So now I can say, it's not about surviving the storm, but it's how you dance in the rain. I love each and every one of you. I'm sending out happiness and light for this week. Next week, I've got a super special, cool guest. Miranda
I'm back
Young.
again.
Oh, yes, you are. I will have Miranda Young, the Ghost Biker Exploration. She will be on, and she's kind of world renowned. She's got a show out, and and she's
Great
another
show.
Southerner. She's another Southerner. So I might
Southern.
even pull my accent out. Wow, I looked over and there was all kind of comments. Listen, you guys are the best. I wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for people like you. So thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, if you guys need me, I'm always here. Love you guys. Bye. You can still hear me behind the scenes.